Don't move, just stay right there. Yes. Hello, Pandora. Hey everybody. Turn this just a little bit. Prepper Nurse 1 here. Today is Sunday. It is the 27th of February, 2022. Figure I would do a nice, warm fireside chat with you guys today because the weather is not so pleasant outside. It is snowing again and it's in the 20s. So I'm like, you know what? We're going to sit by the fire. We're going to talk this way. Before we get into this video, I do want to remind you two things. First of all, we'll be live streaming tonight at 8 p.m. and we're going to talk about all number of things. I'm not 100% sure what yet, but we'll figure that out. I'm sure we'll never stay on the topic, but we'll bounce around and we'll talk about other things as well. But so I would encourage you all to join me tonight for that. We'll figure it out. I mean, there's plenty of things to be talking about, that is for sure. Secondly, I have my sale going on right now with the Legacy freeze-dried food. I have 1 week to go on the sale. It will be ending on the 6th of March will be the last day of the sale. So I would encourage you to take advantage of that. You can save yourself 20% on the freeze-dried food. So how do you do that? You go to my website, preppernurse1.com. You click on store. You will drop down. You will see Legacy Foods. You click on Legacy Foods. It will take you to the store within the website. If you decide you want to make a purchase, when you check out, you have to use the discount code 100,000, the numerical 100,000 subscribers. All right. So that is the sale code that will save you 20% on your purchase. You're talking about freeze-dried foods with a 25-year shelf life. It is GMO free. There are gluten options available as well. It is also vegetarian, and you can purchase beef and chicken options separately. All right, so it is also the largest portion size of any of the other freeze-dried food companies. It's also made in the United States. They're fully stocked up on stuff right now, so I would encourage you all to take advantage of that. Okay, it is. What was I going to say? Shipping stuff out really quickly, so definitely take advantage of that. If something big pops off here overall, we've got the start of things popping off, of course, but if things pop off overall, it's going to be a rush and everybody's going to want it all at once. I would encourage you to get it while you can, especially the savings. Okay, so that being said, let's get into the video. Expect the unexpected. So what do I mean by that? All right, and I'm going to give you a scenario first so you can kind of understand where I'm coming from, and then we'll relate it to what you're doing. When I ride motorcycle, okay, love to ride my Harley, can't get enough of it. I ride as much as I possibly can. One of the things that I always tell Heather, because she's with me a lot of the times when we ride, I say to her, expect them to do what they should not do. If you go into riding a motorcycle like that, so you see the guy, you see him, you know he sees you, and you think, hey, I'm good, right? And he pulls out anyway, and bam, you have your accident. And then he says, oh, I never saw you. You always anticipate that the other guy is going to do what he should not do. With riding, it's a mantra that works really, really well. It makes you're more of a defensive driver, but on a motorcycle you better be, because if they make a mistake and they hit you, it could be your life, right? So how does this correlate to what I'm saying? With everything that's going on right now, I would suggest that people plan for the unexpected. We don't have any clue what they're planning, what they're going to do, how they're going to do it. We might have an indication, we may have an idea, but we have to think ahead, plan ahead, be as ready as we possibly can be. With everything going on, we're going to talk about something so you kind of understand a little bit too, okay? So there right now is a trucker convoy heading to Washington, D.C. I think they plan on being there March 1st, 2nd, or 3rd, something in that range. Well, the Washington, D.C. has already called up 800 National Guardmen for a traffic control. So what happens if they decide to have issues, right, with the truckers? If the truckers say, okay, you want to play that game, we'll just, call for all truckers all across the country to shut down. Stop running, right? If that happens, guys, and people don't really put it into perspective. I travel a lot at night, okay, when I drive. And I see the truckers on the road, because generally at night, most civilian folks are in bed, tucked away in their little hotel room. Truckers are out putting their miles on, and they'll ride, and until they get to a point where they're only allowed to drive so many miles a day or so many hours a day, and so they have to stop, and they have to get their rest period in. But you go by, I'll go by rest areas, and it's just absolutely loaded with trucks. And then all the trucks that are on the road, even at that hour, getting their miles in. It is amazing when you think about the scope of how reliant we are on truckers. With a delivery system that is a just-in-time delivery system, where there is no storehouse anymore with a whole bunch of stuff sitting there waiting to get pulled out onto the floors. They bring in stuff daily to restock those shelves. Well, what happens if all those things are sold? Or what happens? And we're gonna bring up some other stuff with this as well. And because I've been reading the comments, like I said, I always read all the comments, and I kind of want to put it in perspective so you really truly understand. If those truckers decide to stop rolling, there's no more supplies coming in until they decide to get rolling again, right? So there's a lot of issues going on with that. They have a lot more power. See, this again, what I've tried to explain to people. We the people, have way more power than you think that you do. If we got organized, and if we work together, and we decide to do something coordinated, the powers that be, if you will, that makes them tremble in their boots, because they realize how fragile that power that they have is. Because as soon as we decide to say no to whatever, I'm not saying anything, this or that or whatever. If we just decide to say no more, that's it. That's how quickly things can end, right? But as long as you got people just willing to go along to get along, I don't want to cause any trouble, blah, 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 there's always going to be issues. Something to think about as well. So I had somebody in the comments goes, well, talk about a possible power outage, right? If there was a power outage, well, they would just close the stores. They wouldn't have their stores open. What you don't realize, and I really don't think people grasp it as much as they should. I've dealt with human beings, obviously, my whole life. I know how evil mankind can be to mankind. And if it is a situation, and again, I've said this many, many times in the past, and I'm going to say it here again. The most dangerous person in a post-event, in a worst-case scenario type of event, even a regular event that happens where there's long periods of time where you're going to be without power or whatever, no access to gas or whatever the case may be. The most dangerous person in that scenario is somebody who is desperate and scared. It's a combination. They have nothing to lose, so they don't care, and they're scared, and that triggers the reaction. Folks, I don't care if the store's closed. You don't think that they would smash the windows out of a store and go in there and loot that store in hours if it would take that long? That's how quick things can change. And you think local law enforcement is going to get involved with a mob of people looting, which probably some of them will be armed? I don't think they're going to do that. You know what they're going to do? They're going to go and they're going to take care of their families, because at that point, when something gets that chaotic, that's their priority, as it should be. All of us should be taking care of our families. So with proper planning ahead of time, getting things squared away, you're going to be in much better shape. Now, I saw another comment, and somebody says, well, they have it in the they have it written into law that in a case of a major emergency or a martial law or whatever, they can come and commandeer your supplies. So all you preppers that are prepping, they'll come and take all your stuff. No, they won't. Now, there may be some local people that are claiming to be law enforcement that are going to come and try to play that tough guy card. But what you have to understand, if you are organized correctly and you have the right group of people together, they're not coming and taking any of your things. They're not. Okay? Because you're not going to let them. See, there's the difference. When rule of law no longer matters, it no longer matters for everybody. We all of us, will have free will to do whatever we want to do. Now, I've talked about this again many times. My game plan is to hunker down, try to ride it out as much as I possibly can, and have the people that I care about, the people in my family, the people that are in my group, come to me so that we can work together and survive together. Not just survive, but thrive, okay? When you are looking at that mindset of people and realizing desperate, scared people, what are they capable of? They're capable of anything. And if you have it, and they need it, or they think they need it, or they want it, they're going to do whatever they got to do. So you better be prepared to do whatever you got to do. And those are things people really need to sit down, process, think about, plan for. Okay? I didn't prep all this stuff that I've prepped all these years for somebody to walk in here and think that they're just going to take it and me not do something about it. That is not going to happen. Okay? That is just not going to happen. So, you know, there's that old saying, buyer beware. You've been warned, you know, realistically. And that don't go just for me. I think that goes for anybody that preps, that is prepared for whatever may happen. They're ready to do what they need to do to protect their family, to protect their homes, to protect their supplies. We prepared for a reason, because you decided you needed to go on your vacation to Disneyland and spend all your money that way and not prepare to take care of your family. That's not my fault. That's your fault. So you are to blame for that, not me. I owe you nothing. Zero. I owe you nothing. We have to be prepared to do what we need to do to protect the ones that we love and care about. That's number one. There's a saying that I like to say, when SHTF happens, guys, good men will need to do bad things. Bad men will do horrid things, awful things. There's bad men out there already that don't care about nobody or anybody. And when there's no rule of law, all bets are off, okay? So as a good man or a good woman, you better be willing and ready to do bad things to make sure that you preserve your way of life and the people that you care about. And, you know, and that's not, I'm not trying to scare nobody. It's not what this is about. This is about just being straight up honest with you guys, and always expect the unexpected. That's important. And that's what I wanted to talk about, like I said, in this video. We don't know what's going to happen next. We don't know what the other shoe is going to be. And it could be a number of things. It could be a whole bunch of things. All right? I mean, you look at what's going on right now. We got a huge bird flu influenza going through the East Coast right now. A lot of issues, a lot of birds being cold. You know, very rarely does that jump to humans. But when it does, the fatality rate in human beings is like 60% with that. That's scary, okay? And it should be scary. But if you think about how much chicken we eat on a regular basis, how many eggs we eat on a regular basis, that is frightening to think about, okay? If they're not there, what are you going to substitute it with? What are you going to do differently? So, you know, I will not be adding new chickens into my flock this year unless I incubate eggs from my flock. That's the only way I'm introducing new birds to my flock this year. I will not be, no way, no how, going to be bringing in new birds from outside, because you just don't know. It's not safe. So something to think about, something to ponder. There's a lot I know in this video, but I want my number one goal with what I do, talking in these videos, sharing information, giving you guys ideas of things. One of the number one things I want you to do is think. And that's important. If you are ready and you are prepared, you know what's going to come down to survival, guys? A couple things. Worst case scenario. A couple things are going to come down to your survival or not. Number one is how prepared you are, right? Being prepared is going to be a big step to that. So if you're prepared, it gives you an advantage. Any advantage that you can gear in your direction is a good thing, right? A lot of it's going to come down to luck. A lot of it's going to come down to luck. If you're in New York City and a nuclear detonation happens in New York City, you may have about a half a second to tuck your head between your legs and kiss your behind goodbye. So, luck of the draw. Location, location, location is going to be important. The farther out, the more rural you are, it's a better your chances of survival that way as well. So, make your own luck. Put yourself in a situation where the odds are better for you, in your family, and the people that you care about. Just something I wanted to share with you. So, luck is going to have a big, big factor in it. But if you have properly prepared ahead of time, your odds of being lucky in making it through a situation are drastically increased. All right? So anyway, live stream tonight, 8 p.m. I'm not sure what the title's going to be yet. I have to be careful with those all the time. You know, we will have a good discussion this evening. We'll talk about a lot of different things, I'm sure. I don't want you guys to be afraid. I want you to be prepared. I want you to be aware and just continue to do that. All right? So anyway, guys, remember, we are all in this together. We are one race called the human race. As soon as we can figure that out, we're going to be in much, much better shape. Also, remember to hug and kiss the ones that you love. Tell them every single day. Tomorrow is not guaranteed. We never know what's going to happen in life, so it's really important that we tell the people that we care about every single day how we feel. Last but not least, STD, step, thing, and day. One step at a time, one thing at a time, and one day at a time. Whatever you are trying to do, whatever you are trying to accomplish, you can do it. The only one that is going to stop you from reaching your goals is you. That's it. Nobody else. Stay positive. Stay away from the negativity. And you're going to be just fine. All right? I will see you all tonight. Hang in there, guys. Keep prepping. Keep getting ready. Take care of the things that are important. All right? Prepper Nurse 1, out for now.